Alright, good afternoon. Just doing a little test with this new camera here. Not a new camera, a new old camera that I dug out and hooked up. Anyway, Sven here from Common Sense Survival. And as you can see here, we got some tree horse hooves fungus there. We got nice big, get it in a nice big chunk of fat wood here that I harvested here a while back. Then some more fat wood here with a nice big 1/2 inch ferrocinium rod and a tool steel scraper and striker, little birch bark, just to have here. And then of course here we have the old magnesium fire starter, and I did put a tool steel striker on that also. But what this doesn't have that my other couple of kits have, not including my flint and steel, but here and here, you can see that these have a nice high-vis orange and yellow piece of paracord with a nice diamond knot on it. Get that up here in the camera so you can see that. It's kind of a decorative knot. It's just kind of fun to do. Okay, it's not going to come undone anytime soon, so you don't have to worry about that. And it also gives you something to grip also. So anyway, what I'd like to show you today is my preferred fire starting. Along with this, this is also going to be one of my preferred fire starters here. But I wanted to take this one step further and to create something a little bit of a more compact package and have something other than the old magnesium block. I sat here looking at this thing one day and I was like, well, this magnesium, in my opinion, is just not a true tinder. I mean, birch bark, I believe, is a true tinder, and fatwood is a true tinder, because both of these, when hit with a ferrocinium rod with very minimal preparation, do in fact produce a flame, a substantial flame that where you can get your fire started. Where I believe with this has to heat up your tinder in order to get a flame. I'm not super comfortable with this being my only type of tinder, because I just don't see this as a true tinder. So what I did was, I like the overall design, it fits in your pocket. If this is the only thing I could carry with me, yes, I would take it with me. But I prefer something else these days. After giving it a very great deal of thought, I went out to my workshop. I had some nice pieces of fat wood that I had harvested prior to doing this project, and here you can see this nice piece of fat wood here, really good resin. And then what do we have here? We have what looks to be like a magnesium block fire starter, except we've replaced the magnesium with a nice chunk of fat wood. Okay, now I grooved out my fat wood with a round file. I scored it in several places underneath where I put my ferro rod in, and I also put little grooves in it for the epoxy to grab a hold of, rather than just be on two smooth surfaces, so that I got a very good set of my ferro rod into my fat wood. And then what I did was I drilled that and put a tool steel striker, hardened tool steel. So I have a very sharp, I've got 4 really good sharp edges here that I can work with. And then I put a piece of yellow paracord on there with a diamond knot, so that also gives me a little bit more to grip, because I put that knot right there behind my finger. It gives me a little something else to grip other than just the short striker. The striker is almost the same length as my I got about, I don't know, I think it's about 3 inches here, 3 or 4 inches of it could be, I think it's 4 inches. But this, if it gets wet, just a quick dry off with my shirt or the corner of my jacket, and I can shave, or I can use my knife. Here we have the Azula, the Essie Azula, the original knife. I can take some bigger shavings off so that I get a more substantial pile of tinder, of true tinder. And I don't like using my knife to strike my ferro rod. I just don't. And then you can use this to light your pile of shavings, or maybe some birch bark. Birch bark is just full of oils also, much like the you can see all these this dark area super saturated with the pine sap. This is just a nice little chunk of fat wood here that I harvested about a year ago, and this is just this is my idea of the ultimate fire starter, and this is just my opinion. This will work wet or dry. Unlike some lighters, unlike some tinders, unlike some let's say a lamp wick, these have all got to be dry. And this is the one thing that I've come up with, that wet or dry, I can make this work. So just thought I'd throw that out to you there. This is I think this is a one of a kind out there, and I'd really love to see some of the guys out there. You hold that up there so you can see how I've got that. And because my ferro rod is the same length as my fat wood, I can strike this in either direction, and I'll be able to use 100% of my ferrocinium rod. So keep that in mind. I can strike that in either direction. Unlike a ferro rod with a handle, you're only going to be able to strike in one direction. Eventually, there's going to be that piece of ferrocinium rod that you're not going to be able to get a spark off of. So just another thought. This is Sven from Common Sense Survival with a little idea there. We're going to post this on a few of the bushcrafter sites, and I hope you guys like this. Thanks again, and you guys have a good day out there. Talk to you soon.